watching you a novel. The name of the novel is Frankenstein. So before going into the novel itself, I would like to talk about the word novel. So novel is basically a genre in literature which is fictional in tone. Okay. So what do I mean by fictional? Fictional means it is not realistic. Okay, though there are some novels which are partly fictional as well as partly realistic, but generally we can define novel as a genre which is fictional in nature, written in enormous length. Okay, now length is very important when it comes to the genre novel, because you see, suppose I have written down a particular essay in 4-5 pages, we cannot say it a novel. Why? Because novel is written around 200 pages or 150 pages, somewhat around that. So we cannot consider each and every piece of work or the prose work as a novel until and unless it is a lengthy one. Okay, so that was about the novel as a genre in literature. Now let us come to the novel that I am going to deal in this lecture. The name of the novel is Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus, and this particular novel has been written by Mary Shelley. So who was Mary Shelley? Mary Shelley was a romantic author. She was the wife of P.B. Shelley, and she was the daughter of a famous feminist critic, Mary Wollstonecraft. So she has a good sort of ancient lineage. So this novel Frankenstein is actually sometimes considered to be the first scientific fiction written in English literature. Why it is scientific? We will also deal with that when we will come to know about the plot of this fiction. Now, the subtitle of this particular novel is The Modern Prometheus. Why it is said to be the Modern Prometheus? Because there is this myth of Prometheus that has been included in this fiction. Now what is this myth of Prometheus? It is again related to the Greek mythology, where Prometheus was a god who created man for the first time, and then Zeus was not allowing him to give the fire to the human being. So Prometheus actually stole the fire and gave it to human being, and as a punishment he was chained on a mountain top where the eagles used to eat his livers, and every day when the new day begins, his liver came back and again the eagle started to eat that liver. So it is a kind of eternal torture that he has suffered. Who? The Prometheus. Okay, he was actually a god in Greek mythology. Now why Mary Shelley included that particular myth of Prometheus in her novel? Because the Frankenstein, the scientist of this novel, the protagonist of the novel, actually has been compared to the Prometheus of Greek mythology. Like the way Prometheus was eternally suffering, Frankenstein in this novel is also suffering the same pain. Now what is the plot of this story? See, we have this protagonist Frankenstein, who was a scientist, and he tried to make a dead man alive. Okay, so because this novel has very radical idea that how can you make someone alive, so he actually used this scientific theory of galvanism to bring someone back to life if someone is dead. So he was doing experiment with one of his subject, and he created a monster out of it. So he experimented with a dead body, but that dead body changes into a monster. So somehow he miscalculated things, and his experiment doesn't go well, and this resulted in a kind of monster. So there is this mistake that most of the students used to commit, that they used to say that Frankenstein is the monster, but that is not the case. Frankenstein is the name of the scientist, and the name of the monster is never defined in the novel. He is a nameless kind of creature. Okay, so now after Frankenstein made the monster, he was so much afraid and scared of his experiment that he left that monster and ran away. Now the monster actually saw himself alienated. He has been discarded by the society, by everyone, by the creator. Who created monster? The Frankenstein, and Frankenstein leave him. So he was discarded from everywhere. He felt secluded, alienated, and so he vows that he will take the revenge. Means whoever created him, he will take the revenge. He will kill them. He will kill Frankenstein as well as the family of Frankenstein. So that is a kind of plot, and you will see that the monster actually killed almost all the family members of Frankenstein. So that is the plot line, the summary of this novel. Now talking about the narrative structure of this particular novel, we will see that this is a frame narrative. What is frame narrative? When we have a story within a story. So there is this frame narrative where the narrator is actually someone who saw Frankenstein somewhere. And let me show you this slide. When you will look at this slide, you will come to know more about this frame narrative. So this slide having the title Frame Story, you will see that the narrator of this novel is Robert Walton. Now Robert Walton is the person who saw Frankenstein in an Arctic mountain. So he actually rescued Frankenstein. Then Frankenstein told Robert Walton his story, and then Robert Walton started to write the same story via letter to his sister. So that is a frame story, because Robert Walton is the narrator initially. So we will come to know that Robert Walton is telling the story of Victor Frankenstein. So the main story is about Frankenstein, but the narrator is someone else. It is not a first person narrative. That's why it's a kind of frame story within a story. So we will see that the prologue and the epilogue has been actually written by Robert Walton, and the chapters inside the book has been narrated by actually Victor Frankenstein as well as the creature, the monster. Okay. So now who are the characters in the novel? Of course, we have this protagonist Victor Frankenstein, who is a scientist. As narrator, you can easily see this slide where the names of the characters are mentioned. Then we have the antagonist. Who is the antagonist? The antagonist is actually the monster. We cannot even consider him as an antagonist because he was created by Victor Frankenstein and he was left there. That's why we cannot say him as an antagonist. We can even consider that Frankenstein itself was an antagonist, because if he has created someone, even if it is a monster, he shouldn't have left him alone. So this antagonist, the monster, is 8 foot tall, very ugly looking kind of person. Then we have Robert Walton. I have already told about him that he was the initial narrator of this story. Then other characters are Alfonso Frankenstein, who is the father of Victor Frankenstein. Elizabeth Lavenza, she is the wife of Victor Frankenstein. Then we have Henry Clerval, who is Victor Frankenstein's boyhood friend. Then we have William Frankenstein, who is the brother of Victor Frankenstein. So this is it. So see the last slide. There is the heading of this last slide is the genesis of Frankenstein, means how this novel came into being. That is the birth of this novel. So if we will trace back in the history, we will come to know that Mary Shelley, B.B. Shelley, as well as Lord Byron, they all were good friends, and during the Romantic era they went to Italy for the vacation purpose. But when they reached there, they found that they are caught amidst this heavy rain. They cannot go outside and enjoy the life. So they were in a kind of pathetic situation. They were residing inside their house. There is nothing to do. So they thought about writing something. And when it comes to writing, they thought that okay, we will write something which is Gothic, because at that time the Gothic novel was rising day by day. We have the authors like Horace Walpole, who wrote Castle of Otranto. Then we have authors like Anne Radcliffe, who wrote Mysteries of Udolpho. So they were deeply interested in the Gothic fiction, and from that very genre they came up with the idea that okay, by the time we are staying in Italy, we will write something which is based on Gothic literature, and let's see who can write what. So everyone was writing the Gothic fiction, and this is how Mary Shelley came up with this idea of Frankenstein, and she wrote this beautiful novel. And this is the only work on which her fame lies. Actually, she is famous for this only work, Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus. So now, other influences apart from this Gothic fiction, what are the other influences on Mary Shelley? So the other influences were a poem by Coleridge, and the name of the poem is The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. The next one is the Greek myth of Prometheus, and the last one is a poem by Milton, which is Paradise Lost. We all know that it is a famous epic ever written in English literature, Paradise Lost. So these were the major influences on Mary Shelley while writing this particular fiction, Frankenstein. So how this work actually influenced her? Because if you will see, in Rime of the Ancient Mariner, in the Greek of Prometheus, and in Paradise Lost, we have a common archetypal message, a symbolic message. And what is that? That if you will revolt against your creator, if you will revolt against the authority, you will be punished. How? See, in the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, the mariner actually killed a bird whose name is Albatross, and this is how he has done some sin. That's why he has been punished. Now, in the myth of Prometheus, I have already told you that Prometheus challenged Zeus, and that's why Zeus punished him, because he has stolen the fire from Zeus and gave it to man. That's why he has been punished. In Paradise Lost, we will see that Saturn actually revolted against God, and that's why he was punished. So this is the basis why these three works actually shared a common notion, a common idea, which is challenge towards authority. Okay, so we will see the same thing in the Frankenstein, isn't it? See what Frankenstein is doing. He is trying to create someone, create a live being from a dead one. Isn't he challenging God? Because God never allowed us to do so, and never ever, even if we are so much technically advanced, we have all the scientific theory, we haven't reached at that point where we can bring the dead one back to life. So he is challenging God actually. So this is how we will come to know that all these works share this common concept of challenging of authority and getting punished. Okay, so these all things are there in the slides, you can easily see it. So with this I would like to wind up the session that Mary Shelley was influenced by the romantic authors as well as the Gothic fiction writers, and because she was the wife of P.B. Shelley, she also came to know about Lord Byron, and these three friends actually decided to write a Gothic literature while they were staying in Italy. And during their stay, this idea of writing Frankenstein came into the mind of Mary Shelley, and she was very much influenced by the theory of Galvanism too. So she framed this particular story, Frankenstein, and this is how this novel came into being, which is considered as the first scientific fiction written in English literature. Okay, then we will also talk about the themes and the important issue that has been covered in the novel, but we will look about it in the next class. Thanks for joining.